Now 4:30 on WKYT this morning. The results of last night's caucuses in Iowa were surprising. On the Democratic side, the race has ended in a virtual tie.
Donald Trump is headed to New Hampshire. I'm Jacqueline Policastro. How his supporters feel after his second-place caucus win.
A bill that would change Kentucky's informed consent law for abortions has passed in the state Senate. It now moves on to the desk of Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. Great to have you along with us. Here we are on Tuesday, February 2nd. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. Let's get a check of the weather and see what's happening in that department.
Well, we're looking at the clouds out and about, but no rain this morning. We can expect some as we travel off into the second half of your day. Not so much the afternoon, but off into the evening and nighttime hours. So it's going to be dry and also very windy as we approach the afternoon hours. And what's going to happen is we're already seeing the temperatures down south reach the mid-40s, some right around 50 degrees. And then you go into central and northern zones, we're holding on to the 30s. What's happening? Here comes a warm front, and it's going to be sliding through today and really kicking up those winds, so very gusty winds, and you'll really see those temperatures pick up too. Right around 70 degrees later on this afternoon. Those night storms in effect. We're going to talk all about that, and I'm going to take you hour by hour, just a few minutes.
Okay, see you then. Thank you.
Well, we do know that Ted Cruz walked away a winner in Iowa, but the question was who to choose as the Democratic nominee. Not an easy vote, apparently, for the Hawkeye state.
The numbers between Hillary Clinton and Senator Bernie Sanders too close to call, with 99% of the precincts reported in Iowa. It is a draw between the two. Clinton said she could breathe a sigh of relief at the end of the night. Sanders thanked the state and said voters there sent a profound message to the rest of the country.
Well, Donald Trump came in second place in the Iowa caucuses last night, telling voters he's honored to take the second place finish. Our Washington Bureau Jacqueline Policastro correspondent brings us the story of the loyal Trump supporters he's leaving behind in Iowa.
Donald Trump supporters say they think he can still win the nomination and the election. Donald Trump professed his love to this Iowa crowd after his second-place finish in the Iowa caucus.
Thank you very much. I love you people. I love you people. Thank you.
Voters here wearing their support blazed across their chests, saying they aren't losing faith in their candidate.
In his heart, he knows that he can get things done, and I don't know how he's going to do it, but I believe that he believes that he can, and that's good enough for me.
An independent voter turned Trump Republican.
You know, we got a long ways to go to the White House. He still can win that.
And a Trump caucus spokeswoman who's proud of her pick.
It won't change how I feel, and I still believe that he has a very good chance of being our next president.
Trump is headed straight to New Hampshire, coming off his second-place caucus finish. Reporting in Des Moines, Iowa, I'm Jacqueline Policastro.
Well, also after last night's caucuses in Iowa, two candidates decided to end their presidential campaign. Republican Mike Huckabee decided to end his second bid for the White House. Democrat Martin O'Malley also decided to suspend his campaign. Well, this morning, firefighters are still trying to figure out what caused a massive fire at the Bluegrass Stockyards in Lexington. They're asking for the public's help.
Needing information, Lexington firefighters say anyone who has pictures or video of the fire before the first fire trucks arrived at the stockyard Saturday should send those to them. We have more information at WKYT.com about that. Firefighters say right now they do not have any reason to believe the fire was set on purpose. Governor Matt Bevin and Kentucky Agriculture Commissioner Ryan Quarles visited the site yesterday and promised the state would help with the rebuilding efforts. WKYT's Monique Blair talked to people living nearby who said they feared the fire would reach their homes.
We've gotten used to hearing the cows. You know, when they bring the cows over here, it's kind of sentimental to us. It's sad that it's gone.
The Bluegrass Stockyards, a fixture in this community.
When I seen the stockyard, it was gone.
Until Saturday.
There wasn't nothing standing.
Now, the people who live in this neighborhood here off South Forbes Road tell me their first instinct was to walk towards the fire, and that's because, as you can see, they live only a few feet from the stockyards.
Well, I come home, I thought it might be in my house.
You could feel the heat.
And the smoke was black and rolling.
Jeff Broadus told me he has never experienced anything like what he saw and felt as the fire destroyed several businesses.
Then it just went boom and the ground shook.
As the ambulances and fire trucks made their way in to help, Chad Eisen and his family watched, but they too were afraid the fire would soon reach their home.
My wife, she got like her little collection of stuff that can't be replaced, you know, ready to go. So we were ready to go. Yeah, it was pretty scary.
I thought I was going to cover our whole house.
The gas lines in these homes were turned off temporarily as a safety precaution, but the homeowners tell me this was a small price to pay for what could have happened.
But other than that, no, everything's fine.
In Lexington. So do you hope they rebuild?
Oh yeah, I hope they do.
Monique Blair, WKYT.
And some good news for those living near the stockyards. Investigators say the air has returned to normal after the fire sent thick black smoke into the air. The Lexington Fire Department said fine solids from the smoke could cause respiratory problems. But state environmental leaders say the air has cleared and is not a danger to anyone. They say they will continue to keep an eye on creeks and streams in the area at the request of the property owner. They don't expect to find any problems in the water.
Investigators say a man was badly injured when a car hit him on a busy Lexington road. The crash happened around 7:30 last night on New Circle Road near Russell Cave. Lexington police say the man was crossing New Circle illegally when the car hit him. Police say he had several severe injuries to his legs and a head wound. They say he's in critical but stable condition at UK Hospital. Police shut down part of New Circle Road while the collision reconstructed unit investigated. The road has reopened.
In Frankfort, a bill that would change Kentucky's informed consent law for abortions has been sent to Governor Matt Bevin. Yesterday, the Senate gave final approval to the bill.
It requires a face-to-face meeting or real-time video consultation with a doctor before an abortion. WKYT's Garrett Weimer has reaction.
State lawmakers say they've waited on this for years.
Today, Mr. President, we will give voice to those who cannot speak for themselves.
Last week, the House voted 92-3 to allow real-time video conferencing as a way to meet informed consent requirements before an abortion.
This truly is not a Republican or Democrat issue. This is a matter of what is right and what is wrong.
Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
The Senate approved the bill 33-5.
Senate Bill 4 as amended is finally passed.
Senator Reggie Thomas of Lexington was among 5 senators who opposed the bill. He says the bill's requirements are unnecessary.
To require them, Mr. President, to have a conference either face-to-face or by telephone to explain the obvious is just ridiculous. I see no reason or no purpose for this legislation. I think it serves no benefit to this state or to society.
The bill now goes to Governor Bevin's desk. Minutes after the vote, Senate President Robert Stivers said the governor would sign it into law.
One of the few things I feel certain and that I would guarantee in my 20 years is that Governor Bevin is going to sign this bill.
At the Capitol, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Well, the ACLU of Kentucky said in a statement that Governor Bevin, quote, would be wise to veto the bill. A spokesperson for the governor told our partners at the Herald Leader that the governor will sign it.
A federal grand jury has subpoenaed records for Kentucky Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes' last 2 campaigns. Grimes' attorney says she is not the target of the investigation. The grand jury subpoena relates to finances of Grimes' 2014 U.S. Senate campaign and her 2015 Secretary of State campaign. The grand jury also subpoenaed records of her father, Jerry Lundergan, and 2 of his companies.
We now know how much money last month's winter storm cost the city of Lexington. The mayor's office says the city spent $859,000 on snow-related costs. About 60% of that, or $520,000, was spent on salt. The city spent more than $147,000 on overtime and $175,000 on contractors who helped streets and roads crews clear snow from roads.
All right, so there you go. The bill is in. 4:39 now on WKYT this morning here on February 2nd. It is Groundhog's Day, by the way, and we're just getting started on WKYT this morning.
Well, vitamins are an important part of healthy living. Most people get those from food they eat, but millions still take supplements. The FDA says beware of what you're taking. That's ahead on WKYT this morning.
Pretty calm and quiet out there this morning. We're going to be looking in towards your evening and nighttime hours for that severe weather threat. I'm going to break that down for you coming up next. We are on a first alert severe weather day, getting you updated on what's to come later on in the evening and off into the night. So we got a ways to go, but it's just a heads up that we do have some storms on the way. Clouds out and about right now. We'll call it a mixture of clouds and just the nighttime sky. Chilly conditions, though. We're in the 30s for the most part, central and northern zones. Then you go south, and here comes a warm front. It's going to be extending northbound in the next several hours, and that is going to increase our temperatures big time. We're 45 now in London, Corbin, and that goes for Somerset, and then work your way up towards, say, Casey County and Liberty. Then you go into Danville, just hop, skip, and a jump at 37 degrees. So it's one of those things you just got to wait for that front to get over you. Once that front moves north of you, then you're going to be right there in that warmer air. And speaking of warmer air, finishing off at 36 degrees this morning for some. Remember, the southern zone's in the 40s. But we increased big time. That's because that front's going to be moving north of us, and those winds are really kicking up out of the south and southwest, really pumping in that much warmer air. We're at 70 degrees later on this afternoon. Upper 60s to around 70 degrees is what you can expect, and just a really nice day. I mean, a beautiful day in store. But then we go off into the evening and night. Most of your evening is going to be pretty dry. But once we approach that, I would say 8 to about midnight, that's the time frame that you start to see those storms move on in. So anywhere from 6 p.m. to about 9 p.m. across 65 corridor, if you head toward Bardstown, get over toward E-Town, Fort Knox, go down south into Bowling Green, those areas, 6 to 9 p.m. And then 9 to midnight is when it starts to roll through the bluegrass region here in Lexington, down south, and then over toward the eastern zones. That's where we take it off overnight and into tomorrow morning. So it's going to be, once it arrives, it doesn't move through very quickly. It just kind of hesitates and just kind of sits around. Let me take you hour by hour. Watch this, okay? So here we go, going in toward the afternoon, right around 70 degrees. And there's your 9 p.m. around the 65 corridor. We get into the night, and then we're talking about just before midnight, these storms really making their way off into Lexington, Richmond, Danville, Nicholasville, Harrodsburg, Georgetown, those areas, Frankfort. So I would say anywhere before midnight, I-75 back toward the west. Then we get past midnight, that's when they move off into the eastern zones, as that line of storms just continues to churn. I will say this, eastern zones, you have a better opportunity of not seeing severe weather as opposed to areas back toward the west. So 75 and go west, that's your best chance of actually picking up severe weather. You'll still deal with storms, you'll still deal with heavy rain and a lot of lightning, and even the possibility of an isolated threat of some damaging winds. But damaging winds are going to be our main player within this one later on tonight into early morning tomorrow morning. That moves on out, I'd say 8 to about noontime in the far east, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all the way through your weekend, it doesn't look all that bad. It's still kind of chilly the next couple of days after that system moves through. But for the most part, we're dry and also getting above average there for the weekend. Saturday at 44, Sunday coming in at 45 degrees, but then we have another front. I would say next week, I know this is a ways off, but next week is going to be a really cold week. Just all signals point to that. So we're going to be going up and down again as we go throughout the next couple of weeks.
So more up than down.
Yeah.
It's kind of been the ride here lately, hasn't it?
Yeah,
All right.
yes.
Micah, thank you. It is 4:46 now. There are thousands of supplements and vitamins out on the store shelves these days, and many of them are from other countries.
The FDA warns that these imported products could do more harm than good. We'll show you what to look out for in today's Mom's Everyday Minute.
Drug Administration warns that imported products marketed as dietary supplements, as well as non-prescription drug products from international stores, flea markets, swap meets, or online, could be hazardous to your health. Scammers push products that could be contaminated or contain potentially harmful chemicals or drug ingredients not listed on the label. The FDA says watch out for the following claims. One product does it all. Be suspicious of products that claim to cure a wide range of diseases. Personal testimonials. Success stories claiming my cancer is cured are not scientific evidence. Quick fixes. Lose 30 pounds in 30 days isn't realistic. All natural. The FDA has found that many products promoted as all natural contain hidden doses of prescription drug ingredients. Miracle cure. Alarm should go off if a product is touted as a new discovery or scientific breakthrough. Finally, FDA approved. The FDA does not approve any dietary supplements. For more ways to make mom's life easier, visit momseveryday.com.
For these tips and more, go to WKYT.com. Click on Moms Every Day.
Right now it's 4:47, bright and early on your Tuesday, and it's good to have you with us. And more news is on the way.
A Central Kentucky police officer drove home on a different route one night. His decision, he didn't really know that would help him end up saving a teen's life. We'll have more on that story ahead on WKYT This Morning.
Welcome back to WKYT This Morning at 4:50. It's 10 till 5. A Central Kentucky police officer was on his way home from work when he ended up saving a teenager's life.
Shelbyville officer Toby Lewis says he noticed something in a creek off Shelbyville Road in Spencer County. He pulled over, noticed a car on its side in a creek. Officer Lewis called 911, then walked down to the car.
And the sunroof is open about an inch. And I started hearing screaming, "Help me." And then I seen bloody fingers come up to the sunroof.
Well, police say 17-year-old Taylor Wilson was in the wrecked car. They say emergency crews had to use the jaws of life to free her. Taylor had a head injury and broken ribs, but police say she is expected to recover. Officer Lewis says he normally doesn't take that road home, but for some reason he decided to do it that night.
State police say they are investigating a death at a Central Kentucky livestock center. Police say just before 3 yesterday afternoon, they received a report about a possible shooting at the Washington County Livestock Center in Springfield. Police say they found a man injured there, and he later died at a Louisville hospital. So far, police have not released many details about the investigation.
A newly released report says Kentucky coal production has fallen to its lowest level in more than 60 years. The report from the Kentucky Energy and Environment Cabinet says production fell to 61 million tons last year, a 21% drop compared to 2014. Coal production hasn't been this low since 1954. Experts blame oversupply, competition from natural gas, and tougher environmental regulations for the decline.
One of the key tenants of CenterPoint used social media to vent out some frustration about the project. On Twitter, Jeff Ruby said no city should have an eyesore in the middle of its downtown for this long. He also used the hashtag shameful. Ruby wants to put a steakhouse in CenterPoint. Last month, Lexington city leaders gave CenterPoint's new developers a 30-day extension to begin work at the site. That extension expires this coming Friday. City leaders say they are waiting on a consultant's report about whether moving the government center to CenterPoint is a good use of taxpayers' money.
Well, if you need to look at your 2015 vehicle property taxes before filing your income taxes, you can now do that online. The Kentucky Division of Motor Vehicle Licensing is now putting vehicle property tax information on its website. All you have to do is enter your vehicle identification number. The site doesn't show personal information, just the vehicle tax amount you paid. We have a link to the site at WKYT.com.
And it's 4:53 now. It's 7 minutes before 5 o'clock early here on your Tuesday. Coming up, a look at some of the stories that we're working on for you this morning.
We'll also have another look at your morning forecast.
Good morning. The time is 4:56. Here it is, Tuesday morning, February 2nd, Groundhog Day.
We'll see if he sees a shadow.
We'll know soon.
It's time to take a look right now at some of the stories we're working on for you this morning.
In Oregon, the battle over federal land policies continues. The leader of the militia that occupied a federal wildlife refuge there has been detained. But now his father, Cliven Bundy, has ordered protesters to keep occupying the refuge. It comes after Bundy's son, Eamon, urged protesters to turn themselves in. He and 10 others were arrested last week. Eamon Bundy will be back in court today. Of course, today, as we mentioned, is Groundhog Day, and Punxsutawney Phil will be deciding if there is to be 6 more weeks of winter or an early spring.
Let's check in now with Mike Harris to see when he thinks winter will end. Hopefully soon, Micah.
Well, it doesn't feel like winter outside right now, that is for sure. We're going to be roughly 70 degrees later on this afternoon. We have clouds out and about right at this moment, but no rain. The rain actually comes later on this evening off into the night. So as of right now, we're pretty dry. We still have a long ways to go with this system. This system is still back toward the Plain States, so it's going to take some time to actually get here. But when it does, we're talking about that severe weather threat in the forecast, and I'm going to break that down for you and show you what you can expect and when you can expect it. Coming up with another 2 hours of WKYT News. There's a live look outside Rupp Arena Heritage Hall. See you back here in a couple of minutes.